This week's assignment is based on chapter one, doing the right thing. Um, the chapter kind of goes through a series of attempts to kind of compare different instances and how pretty much doing the right thing is not always easy. The key three ideas is obviously welfare, which is what's good for the citizens, freedom, and virtue. To address the actual assignment, there's two particular stories towards the end of the chapters that are very similar, but yet a little bit different. So one was about if you're given a position as a guy driving a trolley going down the train tracks, and you see five guys working. You know you can't stop the train. You can't stop the trolley, so you're most likely gonna kill these guys. And then there's an option of diverting to another train track that has one guy on it. So the question now becomes, do you kill one guy instead of five? And similarly, same story, different perspective. Maybe you're on the bridge watching this train, and you decide that by pushing someone, a heavy man, down the train tracks, that he would die, but at least the other five men would live. So that's that story. Then the other one was a Go Herder story based on a true story about special forces working in Afghanistan, where a soldier had a decision to make whether to kill Go Herders that saw their position or let them go and risk them being killed. So two of the arguments are very similar, but it is quite different in a way because um, one argument focuses on sacrificing on a different individual's lives for the greater good of more individuals, where the second argument focuses on sacrificing your own self life for the greater good of the goat herders or sacrificing their life for your life. In a way, I guess it's kind of tough because I had to read this chapter a few times because again, the argument can be made that in the case of the train tracks that when you divert and kill one person, I guess that is less damage. If you looked at it from a welfare perspective, which means maximizing the good of the citizen, I guess in that sense, you can argue that one life loss is better than five. But then again, but if you look at it from the respect and freedom, I mean, in this case, you can't. There's no way of no one dying, right? So you would assume that someone has to die. The question is, does one person versus five? If you look at it from the perspective of freedom, I guess five does outweigh one. So it seems likely that going deviating off the track would be uh, the best thing to do versus staying on track and killing five people. Uh, but the goal herder story is a little bit different because you got to kind of see the outcome of that decision, right? If you feel like you did the right thing, then the right thing cost the lives of, I think, 19 soldiers. So you got 19 soldiers killed for in exchange for three or four people. So it's kind of like it's really a tough one because at the end of the day, if you would have chose to kill those goat herders and save those soldiers' lives, you would still live the rest of your life knowing that you took someone's life that wasn't involved in a conflict. But now you have to live with knowing that your decision cost 19 American soldiers, which for you as an American soldier, their lives are thought to be more valuable than the lives of Afghan civilians. Um, and to kind of wrap it up, because I'm kind of running low on time here, it is it's a very this chapter is it's filled with a lot of different instances where it's kind of getting you to see that everything is not always as easy as we think. What's defined as right is not always as easy, and in a way, what role should the government play in determining the law? And one of the most things that stood out to me is like, is the law based on virtue, or would it be based on competing views of what virtue is? And I do think it needs to be based on competing views because we live in a changing world. What makes sense to do today might not make sense to do tomorrow. So, of course, the law should be fluid and flexible. Amount of time. I wish I really had more time to kind of dive more into this. It's a really interesting read. It definitely puts things in a different perspective to show you that you what's considered doing the right thing is not always an easy decision. Doing the right thing for one case can mean robbing someone or taking from somebody else for the greater good.